Jesus has shown me how it is that that Zack Knight has been able to steal millions of dollars from me in book sales. I figured out how he did it. The way he's doing it is that he's created a clone of the Amazon computer system. So let's say you're a customer and you wanted to buy one of my books. So you order it off of Amazon.com and you order one copy and it's shipped out to your address. Well, here's how it works. This is what Zack Knight has been doing. He has made an exact clone of the Amazon.com computer system. When you place an order, your order does not go to Amazon.com. It goes to a clone of Amazon.com. Or should I put it this way? He makes an almost exact clone of the Amazon.com computer system. The only difference is he changes where the order goes to. This is my allergies. and where the money goes to. So in the clone version that he makes, which would fool you because it looks just like Amazon, you place your order and Amazon says they got your order. Then your order has actually been placed at an Amazon Jesuit clone company. And then they ship out the order and take your money and you get my book, but Amazon and me, we don't get your money. The Jesuits get your money because your order was processed through an Amazon.com Jesuit clone computer system. They have been doing this to me since, even with Silver Skies, I hear that book made the New York Times bestseller list, and I only made like $10 a year at the most, if I was lucky. You may say, how'd you figure this out? Using the process of elimination. Because I just talked to Brent Spiner, and I said, well, how are my book sales going? Oh, he says in the millions. I says, really? Well, at Amazon, it says I've only made about $10 this month. This can't be right. Excuse me. This is the yeast toxin clearing out of my body. I no longer have the yeast infection, but I have the toxin. So what they're doing is, I thought, well, don't they have records? They must know that they're shipping the books out and they're not getting the money. He says, Brent said, the only thing we know is that customers are getting your books, but Amazon has no record of it. And so therefore, you're not being credited with sales. I thought, they have CPAs at Amazon. They gotta realize the books wouldn't balance if Amazon was shipping out books. So I thought the only way the Jesuits could get away with this is that they did just what I said, which means Amazon would get no record of the transaction whatsoever because the customer would place the order on the clone computer system, which is actually a Jesuit clone of the Amazon computer system, so that the order would be placed through an Amazon Jesuit clone company. And Zack Knight probably is in charge of that. So he's been stealing millions of dollars. And I don't think you can just limit it to me. That's the only way it could make sense. And like even in Russia, my Russian fans have said that Vladimir Putin is having school children read my school books, excuse me, in Russian. How could there be no record of those transactions? And Brent says, we don't get it. We've been trying to figure it out. That's what they're doing. They've made a clone of of the computer system of any retailer that sells my books. And in that clone version, the customer places the order. And let's say it was the Russian government's. I don't know how Vladimir's been selling these books to the Russians. And let's say it's the Russian government's website, then apparently I don't know what they're doing. They've made a clone of everybody who sells my books, of their computer system. When the order is placed, the money's taken, the order's taken from the clone Jesuit company. So basically, Jesuits have cloned every company out there that orders that deals with my books. Before, we had a whole bunch of companies. I was dealing with Rose Dog Books, Durant's Publishing Company, Barnes and Noble, and so that made it really easy for the Jesuits to cover their butts. Now that I'm only using Amazon, and Amazon's been trying to figure this out too, because Amazon knows people are getting my books, and I don't know if Amazon's taking a loss or not, but I don't think they are, because if Amazon has CPAs, see, I can't afford to hire a CPA, but I'm sure they've got CPAs. If they were shipping books out, the CPAs would say, hey, the books don't match. We're shipping books out, but you all didn't get records of the order, and you didn't get the money for the order, so we need to go investigate and find out what's going on. I mean, it's like millions of dollars. They're going to do this. The reason they haven't launched an investigation is because the clone Amazon.com computer system has, basically the Jesuits did a switch out. They switched out the Amazon.com computer system with the Jesuit clone version of the Amazon.com computer system, which is exactly like the Amazon.com computer system, except in areas where the Jesuits want to steal certain authors' monies. And then they've arranged it so that if anybody makes an order for that author's books, that the order goes to the Jesuit clone company and not to Amazon. So that the Jesuit clone company takes the order, takes the money, ships the book out to the customers, and therefore Amazon has no record of it. And then and then they switch, and then I bet right after the order is made, they switch out the computer system again and put it back into the regular Amazon.com. I'm not exactly sure how they're doing this, but I'm certain they're cloning the computer system and then processing the orders through the Jesuit clone version of the computer system. And they're doing this for every company that sells my books, whoever it be, whether it be Walmart or whoever. And guess who's getting the money? Zack Knight. See, how can we prove this? I don't know, but I've been praying to Jesus and saying, Jesus, this just isn't right. It's not that I don't really need to be a millionaire or anything like that, but it really makes me angry because I work very hard on these books, that all my hard labor is financing a terrorist organization, because that's what these Jesuits are. They're terrorists. So anyways, people, that's what I was talking with Brand. I said, that's what's going on. Now, Jesus also told me to stop working on my The Forbidden Abyss Part 1 and just get going on Part 2. He said, Gail, you've revised it enough. So the version that's at Amazon does have some mistakes on it, but it's very readable, but it doesn't look like it was put out by like a big shot publishing company like Chord and Brace or Macmillan or one of them people, or Scholastic Press, because I'm doing my own book formatting and I'm not a professional publisher. But Jesus apparently just wants me to move on. Anyways, folks, that's how Zack has been stealing money. He's cloning the computer system. So you place the order, and you don't realize it, but you're placing an order on a clone of the Amazon.com computer system. Your money goes straight to Zack Knight. And I think the Jesuits are actually shipping the books out. They've created a clone Amazon company. It probably doesn't even need to be that big, just big enough to handle my books, So it could be about the size of maybe a Walmart supercenter somewhere, some building somewhere on this planet where this clone computer system has all the orders processed through. I don't know how. I'm not sure how the Jesuits are doing it, but I'm certain they've cloned the computer system, and that's how they're outsmarting us and stealing my money and making it look like they have it. I am certain of it. You say, well, what about if somebody makes comments? They're switching that out too. Maybe all the people who are making comments about my books their comments are going on the clone computer system and not on the rest of our computer system. So they see the comments they make on the clone computer system, but we don't see it. Because if I'm selling like 3,000 books, I should have at least 100 comments, right? But they're not there. So how are the Jesuits doing that? They're doing it with clone computer systems. So probably a third of the world is using Amazon through a clone computer system, and the Amazon the Jesuits are controlling who sees which comments, and they're making sure that I don't get any comments that would come from somebody like Bill O'Reilly that would make it obvious that I'm doing well with my book sales, So any comments like that are going through the clone computer system, as well as all the orders and stuff. Clever Jesuits. I'm certain I'm right. I bet if we took Zack Knight in court and asked him under lie detection if this is what he's doing, he would flunk lie detection. He would flunk. Well, I promised Jesus one video a week, and I was thinking, what do I make it on? And Jesus gave me this brilliant idea. I was thinking, Brent, how are they stealing my money? They're cloning the computer systems of all the companies that deal with my writings and then pilfering the money for themselves.